Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and I've been doing some thinking over the last couple of days about Zenyatta. I have been really enjoying playing Zenyatta. I think he's awesome, but I think he's a little bit too awesome. So I was trying to think of ways of making him a little bit, not weaker, but a little bit more in line with the other characters. Because right now, you pretty much take Zenyatta and you take Lucio as your supports in every single game. There's no reason to take anybody else, and that's kind of not right. So I was thinking about changes that could be done, and all kinds of stuff, and then Jeff Goodman hits the Overwatch forums with this post. Zenyatta is definitely playing a lot better these days. At this point, anecdotal feedback, internal stats, and competitive feedback are all showing he's actually a bit too strong at the moment. At this point, we're looking likely to reduce some of his power in an upcoming patch, probably related to his Discord Orb. Now, what the hell does Discord Orb do? Well, Discord Orb means the target you apply it to takes 50% extra damage from all damage sources. That is absolutely huge. Now, I made a video talking about Genji recently. A lot of people seem to have issues with Genji, especially when they're in uncoordinated teams and stuff. But all you need to do to Genji, when Genji comes diving in, is apply Discord Orb to him, shout it out to your team, Genji's Discorded, hopefully your team turn around and then they instantly kill him. But this applies to everybody. Like, Zenyatta is anti-everybody when he applies his Discord Orb to them. Roadhog comes around the corner, you drop the Discord Orb onto him, he's suddenly taking 50% extra damage from all damage sources. He is utterly destroyed. It is so powerful. In fact, I played a competitive game recently where we got together for a push, and as we pushed in, I popped my ultimate as Zenyatta, and we all move in with the ulti, so we got the heal. But just before I did that, I put Discord Orb on the enemy Reinhardt, so as we're going in, as I'm ulting, the team are running in, they blast the Reinhardt down like he didn't even exist. It was totally ridiculous. It is really, really powerful. But this is the thing of, it's like an issue Overwatch has, right? There's so many different heroes, and there are always going to be heroes that are more prevalent in the meta than other heroes. The problem with Zenyatta at the moment is, you always want a Zenyatta. It's kind of the same problem with Lucio, but is Lucio that much of a problem? Is it as sort of game-changing as Zenyatta? Because that ability to apply the Discord Orb really quick and apply a 50% increase in damage that target's going to take from all damage sources is crazily powerful. Like, really, really powerful. I'm kind of struggling to explain how powerful this is, but it is insanely powerful. Like, if you were doing 100 damage per hit, which I don't think anybody does, but if you're doing 100 damage per hit, suddenly you're doing 150 damage per hit. That's a big increase, and it's from all damage sources as well. So you can really burn down enemy targets. So what you get is Zenyatta is his support with his heal. He puts his heal over time onto people. Yeah, it's not the greatest heal in the game. It does enough though to top people up, and then he's sitting at the back firing away, and Zenyatta can do quite a bit of damage. Then he applies his Discord Orb. A lot of Zenyatta play is sort of centers around firing your Discord Orb onto the correct target and then shouting out that target's got Discord, so your whole team turn and hopefully burn down that target, because it will die very, very quick. I mean, you almost don't have to shout it, right? Because they have the big purple icon above the head. You know, they've got Discord Orb. They're going to get killed. Like, if you're playing Overwatch and you see the Discord Orb on somebody, you want to shoot them because they're probably going to die really, really quick. Well, they will die really, really quick, and that's crazily powerful. So when you get like to the higher echelons of the game, that ability to direct fire becomes much better. So team members will instantly fire at the guy who has Discord on. The Zenyatta will shout out where the Discord is, and they're burning them down ridiculously quick. So you would always take Zenyatta because the amount of DPS he adds to the team is utterly, utterly insane. I mean, it would be nice to see things like how much damage is actually added to the team from Zenyatta's Orb. Now, Blizzard will know this. We don't get to see this when we play the game because it's not recorded in the stats, because unfortunately it only records damage done, healing and all of that stuff. It doesn't actually record the increase in damage that Zenyatta has. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a difficult thing to show, but I'm pretty sure their stats do record this. So they will know when Zenyatta's in a game, the team's doing a lot of damage. I mean, when I play Zenyatta, you can easily pump out 10k damage on your own, just with your orbs. That's not even including Discord Orb, which is utterly madness. So what's been happening is a lot of people have been playing Zenyatta and Lucio combos, and they haven't been playing Mercy. I mean, Mercy has totally fallen off the map. This is a very interesting thing to me, because I don't, like, obviously when they made the changes to Zenyatta, they wanted him to come back into the game because Zenyatta was not used. Zenyatta went from a place of having 150 health, which meant he could get, at the time, body shotted by Widowmaker, which wasn't too great for him. It went through a couple of changes. They increased his health to 200, which, well, his health is 50 and his shield's 150, but they increased it to a total of 200. And then they did say that maybe they might reduce this back down to 175, but they haven't actually done that. Then what they did is increase the speed at which he applies his Orb of Harmony, which is the heal, and his Orb of Discord, which is the 50% damage increase debuff, which you can put onto enemy targets. And then they just left him. Now, what happened there is Zenyatta then came back into the game in a massive way, and he pushed people out like Mercy. So we've gone from the situation of mass team reses to just killing the enemy team with Zenyatta. Like, you know, and if you look at the other supports like Ana and you look at Symmetra, in my eyes, they are very situational picks. Symmetra maybe needs something doing to her because she kind of is a... Well, I don't know whether this is fair to say, but she's a little bit boring to play. A lot of the time you take Symmetra for the teleporter. There are a decent number of maps you can use Symmetra on. I mean, I would never use her on a control point map. That would be a bit crazy. But the other maps, yeah, she can be quite powerful. Like, you know, maybe first point on King's Row, or first point on Hanamura, or something like that. Or first point on Temple of Anubis. She can be quite versatile in that sort of way. But what about Mercy? Like, why would you take Mercy? Because let's look at what Mercy does. So she's got the best single target healing. She's got the big res, and she's got the damage buff. But when she's applying the damage buff to one person, it's nowhere near as effective as a 50% global increase in damage on the target that has the Discord orb on them. I mean, Mercy buffs your damage by 30%, and she's only doing it to one person. That's nowhere near as good as Zenyatta. Like, that's just not as good. So Zenyatta completely beats her in that respect. And then you've got a situation of, like, well, when do you use Mercy? Like, I have very rarely seen Mercy used, and yeah, it's a very fine balance, Overwatch is. There's a lot of heroes, and they've got to be balanced, and what do? You know, you sort of have to fine-tune them. I'm not saying nerf them, like, you need to fine-tune them to make sure people can use them, but then you don't want to change them in such a way where they just become completely, utterly dominant, which is what Zenyatta is right now. But then on the other hand, you don't want them so bad that nobody picks them, which is what Zenyatta was before. So he's kind of gone from being not used to being absolutely used in every single game. Now, does this change need to come in? What do you guys think about it? I think it does, and I've been playing a shitload of Zenyatta recently, and it's really enjoyable, especially when you're in a full team, because you're calling out the hits, you know, where the Discord orb is, you want your team to fire damage into that, and it can be quite enjoyable. It's also a really enjoyable class to play in the support category, or I guess hero in the support category, if you're a more DPS orientated player. So I played a lot of Soldier and other heroes like that, so to drop into Zenyatta was actually quite nice. I do play a little bit of Lucio. Zenyatta is much more effective than Lucio for a DPS player because you can actually do damage with him. You can do damage with Lucio, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit more lackluster, whereas Zenyatta, it's very focused. Like, you know, once you get used to his projectiles, the speed of them and where they're going, you can sort of really start leaning them in. It's kind of like a faster version of Farah, I suppose. So yeah, he is a nice character to play. I don't really want to see them reduce his health. I think that would be crazy because he doesn't have that much health anyway, with his combined health and his shields actually adding up to 200. His character speed, I'm not too worried about that at the moment either. I think that's kind of okay. His damage output, I think that's fine as well. Obviously, his damage output coupled with the 50% increase from Discord Orb is absolutely crazy, and means that a lot of the time you can just run in and burn people down. It is pretty mad. And obviously, if your team's attacking that target, then they die really quick. Yeah, so like in his alternate fire, I've never really been a fan of that. I've been trying to work that into my game a little bit more, where sort of like charging up the orbs and then just peeking out and firing around the corner. You can get the odd pick with them, like maybe take somebody out or do stuff like that, but a lot of the time you generally are just better firing off the standard attack. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you think Zenyatta needs to be changed? I don't want to say, well, no, it is a nerf. This will be a nerf. I think what they're going to do is probably reduce this down to 30%. So the Discord orb will go down from 50 to 30%. I don't think they'll go any lower than that. I'd be surprised if it was 20%. And I would be surprised if it was 40%, because 30% is a 20% reduction in its effective nature, I guess. So that will actually be quite a bit. And obviously they've been collecting data on Zenyatta. You know, they've made this change. They wanted it to go out there. They wanted to collect the data. And now they know, yeah, maybe it's a bit too strong because he's picked in every single goddamn game. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and all of that good stuff. You can follow me on Twitter as well, which is @UnitLostGaming. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.